Hi everyone, and welcome back to And Action. Today we're going to be talking about movies. So us three up here, we are all film majors, and we have seen a lot of movies. And we have the special pleasure of having you not really know a lot about movies, but you know a lot about like TV, right? So that's a really cool comparison that we're going to get into. So tell us about like some of your favorite TV shows that you've seen.
Some of my favorite TV shows would probably be The Office, which is, I believe, iconic, and so is Friends. Very kind of basic things because a lot of people go for that, and I really enjoy it because it's very like comedic to me.
Okay, so would you say that you're really drawn towards like more comedy-wise as far as like your media consumption?
Definitely more on the comedian side, like anything related towards that, but I do watch drama as well.
Okay, very cool, very cool.
Would you say those shows are labeled as like mainstream? I heard people don't really like watching a lot of mainstream films or TV shows because there's the hype and everything. But I think that's a good thing since the obvious is to think if lots of people like it, then it must be good, right?
Yes.
I'm actually on the, as far as like talking about mainstream media, I'm a huge bandwagoner. I love when things are hitting up like their biggest, like their highest grossing movie, I will specifically go to see the movie even if I had no interest, just because I want to be in on the cultural event.
Yeah, it's really good to be part of the community and get just dragged into this new movie and talk about it with everyone, since a lot of people, media is so big, it's everywhere.
So, speaking of like really big franchises, have you seen like any of the like Marvel movies or the MCU craze?
I've only, from all of that, all I could recall is Iron Man.
Oh my goodness.
That's basically it. I believe, just the first one, because if I'm wrong or not, but there's multiple Iron Men.
There's a trilogy, yeah.
There's a whole bunch, yeah.
Yeah.
So like me personally, I'm like the biggest Spider-Man fan that you're probably ever gonna meet. And this is to get the little insight of like why I like Spider-Man so much. So my parents are divorced, and they got divorced when I was really little, and I was like, oh man, this like really sucks, you know. Obviously, I was just so alone. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't really know what to do with my life, and I felt so like alone. And then I started watching like the Spider-Man cartoon, and Spider-Man movies, and like he faces such like really hard like life challenges. His uncle dies. He's really poor. He doesn't get the girl. It's just one thing after another. And then he gets all these powers, and instead of becoming like a supervillain or using it to like really help better himself, which he really could do if you really wanted to, you could stick with being a wrestler and make a whole bunch of money. But he chooses to help people, and I was like, wow, he has all this power and obviously this responsibility, and he uses it just to be a great person. So I was like, oh my gosh, this person is exactly what I want to be like when I grow up. I want to just do unto others and just bring that life of making people happy and doing just selfless things. So that's part of the reason why I just started with Spider-Man, and then ever since then it's been an upward chasm.
A really relatable character, because all of them at first, at least their first movies, are like around our age, and with the MCU, he's like much younger, high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think lots of like even boys and girls can self-insert themselves into this character, someone to look up to, very relatable, and yeah.
Exactly, it's not about
it's easy to get hooked on the franchise.
Exactly. Anyone, they say like anyone can wear the mask, anyone can be Spider-Man. So that's the
best quote right there.
That's the best. Yeah, exactly. Anyone can be Spider-Man. So you should watch Spider-Man.
Okay, I'll try my best to. But there's 3, I don't know, maybe 2 hours long each.
There's actually more than 3. There's 7 Spider-Man films.
Wait, why? Doesn't he just save the world? That's it? We gotta.
There's 3 different, I think, series.
There's 3 different live action Spider-Mans. They each have. There's 2 that have trilogies, 1 that has 2, and then they're all in this movie.
So there's 3 different types of Spider-Man, but like why?
Because they're in different universes and they're all a little different. But for like actual like why, it's because the studio heads didn't believe in the whole superhero craze originally, because the first Spider-Man came out before Iron Man and they didn't know about this connected universe.
Oh, it did.
Yeah, and they wanted to try to make more money, and then they tried rebooting it, and then it was too edgy and that didn't have very good
So
likeness.
they did it 2 more times.
They did it 2 more times until we got the one we got now, which is great.
So you were saying
experience.
there are like animated shows that you watched before you watched the movies because as a kid it's like a bit hardcore or whatever.
Mhm.
How are those animated shows like? Since actually I'm not a film major, I'm an animation major. And along that lines, it's really hard, especially with stop motion. You have to draw things. Voice acting, it's definitely not live action. You can read off of your lines. But the acting is very, very well done. It's almost like you're actually there. And I've heard in some studios, you sit like this, right next to the person you're going to voice act with, rather than turning in your own lines. I think that's very interesting. I would even go to say that's a superior way of voice acting. With everyone in the scene in the same room. It's chaotic. It's amazing. Honestly.
It's funny you say that because I know that from the movie Rango. Have you guys seen Rango?
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
no.
You seen
I
Rango?
was shocked. Yes, I actually.
We got
The
one.
little lizard, right?
Yes, the little
Okay, thank
lizard.
God.
Johnny Depp plays the
Yeah.
lizard.
Dude, definitely talk about that.
Instead of doing like a ADR work that they would normally do for these films, they shot it on their phone of them shooting it like a play.
Oh,
it's
didn't
like
they have
musical.
like the ball thing?
So
Like
they
little-
did it
attached it?
without using motion capture, but they used it for reference, which is
Oh,
very
live
similar.
CGI. Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah, and so like Johnny Depp wears a cowboy hat
I
and
saw it
that.
behind the scenes. I thought it was so cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's a really cool. Like I think that because they did that, they made that that way of filming a lot more successful, like they do for other like normal traditional animations.
Okay, so he plays the main character, which is like a lizard, an animal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is it live rigging or did they straight up animate it?
They shot the video as reference, so without rigging or without like motion capture. It's just for reference.
Oh, I see. So have you watched any animated television shows?
I have watched Avatar.
Yeah. Booyah.
It's actually really, really good, and I really do enjoy it, and probably will watch it again because it's that good.
Do you think that when you're like going on to like what you want to do in the future, you're gonna want to like make more stuff geared towards like kids? Because Avatar is definitely like it's obviously a Nickelodeon show.
Yeah.
Do you want to stick more towards that, or do you want to stick to more like adult comedies? Because you also said like The Office and stuff like that.
I feel like in the beginning I should go towards like adult like stuff, and then go into the kids if I because I feel like that's that would be very interesting because it's very different from like adult to like children's thing. So I think it'd be kind of cool, like a challenge almost to get into that. But I'm very interested in that too.
I think, yeah, that's amazing and really awesome since I got way thrown off by animated like adult shows. I would watch it as a kid and be completely confused that animation doesn't necessarily mean for children.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with some of the shows, the voice acting is very well done. There's always like some darker themes underneath the surface of just a show geared towards kids, and I think that is a little bit better. There are some topics you need to get introduced to, and you'll figure out as you grow up. It's like a coming of age story, and it's very well done.
What are like popular 80s films? Because I don't think I've seen any. I think.
The Karate Kid is one of
Oh
them.
wait, the remake or the
Well, the original, and then they came out with the Cobra Kai remake. Have you seen that
Oh,
one?
yeah.
It's television. So Karate Kid, Goonies is a great one, I think.
I have
It
actually
was made
seen
in the
that.
80s.
I
Yeah.
feel like we've all seen it, but we didn't know that it was from that era. Yeah.
Oh, that was.
I think that one's a classic coming of age.
I'm trying to go farther,
Story.
farther back.
Let's see. Breakfast Club was a classic.
Classic.
People love
Classic.
that one.
I surprisingly haven't seen it.
Oh, thank
I've only
God.
heard of it.
I think the beauty of all those like 80s movies is that they share like such young they're all like really about young people.
Mhm.
Like they're all like 17, 16 or like even younger, and they're all like the recurring actors.
That's why I like the 80s movies, because growing up, my dad would put them on, and like, we would all watch it and like have family movie night and just watch
Oh
80s
yeah, the
movies.
humor, the style, it's all different. And
I also used to do a family movie night, and we used to watch a whole bunch of these. That's probably why I've seen so many movies, is just because we used to like have to do it. We used to, back when Blockbuster was a thing, I used to.
Oh, I remember my parents would go to Blockbuster and get
Oh,
movies.
yeah. Anyone know any movies coming out like soon? Can definitely go watch that as a starter.
You should definitely watch the first Black Panther, so you can watch the second Black Panther, which
There's a
comes.
second.
It's coming out.
There's
Yes,
definitely a
and it's
second.
gonna be so good.
I heard it was good, but I don't know. I just don't know, so I'm like.
It's so
Just
good.
gotta get hyped up.
Oh yeah.
There's forget what it's called. The second movie to Knives Out. Have you seen that one?
Mhm.
Onion.
No.
Something like
And
that.
it's yeah, I've seen Knives Out.
Have you seen Knives Out?
Mm-mm.
I think that one is a good like
It's intense, it's
attention
good.
grabber.
It's part of Marvel, or is
No,
it something
it-
else?
it's like a murder mystery type of
Mm.
movie.
Oh, I heard Bodies was like good.
I don't think
You
it's.
did?
I don't think so.
No, really? I heard people saying, "Oh, like
I
I,
have
think
no
you
idea
should
which one
watch
this
it."
is.
I'll have to check it out, but
My
I-
TikTok's lying then.
And what's one movie you think she should be on the lookout for at the end of this year?
I don't think a lot of them are in theaters, but especially I'm a huge anime fan. I love Studio Ghibli, any type of those animated movies. And the influence of a lot of anime movies are coming here to America. They're playing in our theaters, subtitled and dubbed. The art is beautiful, and I think the voice acting is phenomenal in both, like the original Japanese language and then the English dub. You can watch both if you have the time, you can watch one or another. And I think if you have the patience to read subtitles, the voice acting is very well done. Yeah.
I think I've gone to a couple of episodes watching an anime called Otomatsu.
Oh, that one is really
Yeah.
long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
You have
read
the
it.
time to binge that one, it's fun.
Yeah, I think it's like, I know for sure it was one episode, but I don't remember if it's like a couple of them or like 3. It was like a while ago.
I have no idea. I think I'm thinking of a different series, but that is like a classic and it's really, really long.
Great. Well,
I believe it was really, really long.
I really appreciate your time. I hope to have another podcast episode, maybe in the later future, where we get to see your reaction to maybe having seen all these movies, or maybe what you've seen now compared to how you were back today. So thank you very much.